领导在，我这里有一个小小的问题想请教。目前我们员工一没有叛国，二没有反党，三没有搞破坏，四没有过激行为，我们只是有一些诉求而已，可怜的诉求而已。可为什么我们的电话和微信等对外联络方式都受到不明干扰，我们的人身安全受到不同程度的威胁恐吓？难道政府就是用这样的方式关怀关爱我们这帮生存受到威胁、切身利益受到严重侵害、遵纪守法的五好良民、手无寸铁的弱势群体吗？
说得好。
它有凉。真的，比吸金盆来的排成都大。
哦耶，都还有那个。
你看那个上头都还有。
你们数得上？
是我们一直在盯着你，啷个跑的路？
我的。
16个，17个，18个，还有19个。
你看起好累，好累了。
那是那时候就上去了的。
那上次没走的那些。
上午上加起来是18个耶。
23。
没，后头那个大车子下来了。
附近呢？
那个车子也
是24个。
还有，后面那是那个黑车子。
2路公交车发现疫情。
真相的力量。我们要拯救在水深火热的湖北的武汉的同胞们，我们要再把国内的所有有关疫情的真实声音发到国际上来，做好准备，没有共产党新中国的以后什么样？
沙坪坝到江北的，沙坪坝到江北的那个沙坪坝那个桥头。我们先起来了嘛。你啷个回事啊，老人家？哎呀，你恼火得很，你不要那个样子噻。哎，你不起，你还有儿女，还有孙儿啊那些，你想得起，对不对？哎，那个你不能开玩笑，你想到他们嘛。那对了噻，你还有孙儿啊那些，你还有孙儿啊那些给你乖得很噻，哎，快人家过来，不要去，啊，人家，对不对？我们牵你过来，我把你扶过来，好不好，人家？你扶过来我也活不成了。没得关系的嘛，你有病看病，没得病的，那个对不对？你都儿女那些那个乖的，孙儿那个乖的，你要那个噻，哎。你要想开点了，你都活那么大年龄了，你看你那个活那个年岁数不容易啊，对不对？好，人家我们扶你过来。不激动，老人家。你不激动？哎呀，那个病嘛，医院生病的人多得很，老人家。生病这个事情是不是那个都是一个自然现象，任何人都要生病，对不对，老人家？你要想你的家人啊，老人家。对，快人家快过来，快拖过来。哎呀，坐一会儿，老人家你坐一会儿。哎，那边坐一会儿。哎呀，你那边的坐一会儿，老人家。我跟你说了，解决的问题。哎，那个没哪子的。坐会儿，好，人家。坐会儿，好。哎呀，你
的路下的过程拉到。这我们这进一个做一个，做漏气锅的这那个还干吃给，千万不能出门啦啊！做进个报告啊！
我们在有序的排队在领土豆啊！感谢四川人民对我们武汉人民的帮扶。
在老家做牛逼，这儿是北京，是虎你就得给我卧着。是龙，你就得给我盘着，该量体温，该登记，不是为了你的安全，是为了我们大家的安全。
加大传播真相的力度。我们要拯救在水深火热的湖北的武汉的同胞们，我们要再把国内的所有有关疫情的真实声音发到国际上来，做好准备，没有共产党新中国的以后什么样？
他们在这里找我。
新沟桥派出所这里梁头，这个整个小区重灾区全部都封了。我在这里。 现在我给大家看看车厢的情况。
渐渐失去知觉，这当作是种自我的
Half a world away, the US government began evacuating its citizens from the Diamond Princess, stranded in Japan with 356 confirmed cases of coronavirus on board.
You have to have that.
And the Morrison government will do the same.
The best thing we can do to help you is to bring you home.
A Qantas plane will be sent to pick up the more than 200 Australians and New Zealanders aboard the ship on Wednesday, but on return they'll be put back into quarantine in Darwin for another 14 days.
It's frustrating and it's unfortunate, but it is absolutely necessary.
Because no one is quite sure why the virus is still spreading on the ship.
For the sake of protecting the community and everyone's families, we have to take this extra step.
In a rare interview, the Chinese ambassador has criticised the government for its travel bans on Chinese students and tourists.
We are deeply disappointed because, as I see it, they are out of proportion.
The bans will be reviewed weekly. Chris Yorman, 9 News.
But because of the nature of the quarantine not being able to be assured, for those more than 200 Australians who will be returning to Australia, we are going to have to require a further 14-day quarantine period to be put in place on their return to Darwin, where they will be accommodated at the Howard Springs facility.
Thanks for having me on, Maria.
And you were among the first lawmakers to really raise a red flag on coronavirus, warning your Senate colleagues nearly 2 weeks ago that this is worse than Chernobyl. Your words, not mine, that China has been lying about it from the very beginning. Assess the situation as you know it today.
Maria, the situation is very grave, in part because, as you say, China was lying from the beginning and they're still lying today, and also because there are so many unknowns about this virus. For example, how many people one person can infect once they have the virus, the extent to which it's contagious before one is symptomatic, or the mortality rate. That's why I've been saying for almost a month now that an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure, to quote Benjamin Franklin, and why the president was so smart to ban travel coming from China just a couple weeks ago, so we didn't have more than 20,000 people landing in our country every single day from mainland China.
Well, you know, it's pretty extraordinary. And then they criticized the United States for putting that travel ban in effect. And the fact is they're criticizing us for the travel ban, but isn't it true that they've got people locked down in their homes?
Maria, they have more than 70 million people now under quarantine, and you've probably seen the videos online from social media sites, as have I, of the Chinese Communist Party's police beating people who they think might have coronavirus, or trying to keep them locked inside of their apartments, or quarantining them in large hospitals or what have you. They have not been transparent at all, and they need to be.
So this super lab that you referred to, this super lab is the only one of its kind in this area, in Wuhan, in the province, that area. And what do they do at this super lab?
It's unclear, Maria. We have such laboratories ourselves in the United States, run by our military, in large part done for preventative purposes, or trying to discover vaccines, or to protect our own soldiers. China is obviously very secretive about what happens at the Wuhan laboratory. We don't know, again, where this virus originated. That's why it's so important that we at least ask the questions and get the evidence. But China continues to block our ability to ask those questions and get that evidence.
I mean, Clinton, Trump, Bloomberg from New York, it's unbelievable. Real quick, we got to jump, but in terms of this coronavirus, now the New York Times reporting that Xi Jinping was on it early. I mean, they still went to the White House, as I've been saying.
He knew, like you've been saying, it's a week beforehand. Also, Foxconn's announced, I think they're not opening the factories tomorrow. On March 3rd, I think you'll see a conversion of an oligarch and a virus. This virus is very important. The president's taken great action so far, but I think people got to start focusing on the impact to the economy. The Chinese economy, I think, is imploding.
All right, we will leave it there. Steve, it's always great.
So let's talk about it was already weak, and we'll talk about how they finance it, because I think they've got $40 trillion in debt if you add sovereign debt all the way through to the regions and to the banks and the consumer debt, but which, by the way, by our new trade deal, we've got the opportunity to go and help refinance. But I'll get to that in a second. About this virus. Number one, you've been someone that understands Asian culture. You've lived there for a number of years. You've kind of dedicated your life to this. Talk to people about this pandemic as you've seen it as it affected China. Have you ever seen anything that has disrupted China more than this?
I lived in China for 9 years, and I've never seen anything quite like this. And I think there's a couple of very important factors to recognize to kind of set the stage, if you will, to help people understand this. This supposedly started in what they call a wet market, and a wet market is think of it almost like a farmer's market for meat, and it's not just there's a side of beef hanging out. There will be all nature of meat. Some of the animals that this virus has been tied back to have been pangolins, which for American viewers is something akin to maybe a cross between like a turtle and a porcupine. It's been tied to snakes. It's been tied to other animals. And these are all animals that in these wet markets you will actually find either live or pre-slaughtered animals of that kind, through to dogs and other animals, where these meats are eaten. And so this kind of hopefully sets the stage. The other thing that I think is important to understand about this is that Chinese healthcare system in the best of times is an incredibly strained system. It doesn't have large amounts of ready supplies. It doesn't have large amounts of well-trained personnel. Just to give you an idea, basic hygiene standards like latex gloves in normal times are not widely used in medical facilities. The level of education is relatively low. Outside of the major centers, in some cases, only about, say, 65% of doctors don't even have a bachelor's degree. So you're talking about very low levels of human capital, of knowledge in the medical system. And so this is really just creating this perfect storm, so that really the numbers that I think I've seen indicate that more than 50% of the country is on some type of, let's say, movement restriction, quarantine.
Let's talk about that for a second. It's a nation of 1.4 or 1.5 billion people, depending on how you count the migrant workers. So you got 1.4 billion at the low end, and right now they're telling us that 80 to 100 million are under full quarantine in the central provinces and some other cities. There's another anywhere from 4 to 5, maybe 600 million people under this lockdown, which is sometimes self-imposed, sometimes imposed by the government. So you have anywhere from 500 million to 600 or 700 million people spread throughout a country. 40%. All this is essentially east of the Mississippi, equivalent to east of the Mississippi River in the United States. How can that actually happen? I mean, these are numbers, and I understand everything about China is about scale. But Professor Balding, how help American audience comprehend how this can even be pulled off?
So just logistically, I think there's a couple of things that are very important to recognize. First of all, in China, in really every apartment building and out in the rural areas, in villages or whatever, there will typically be a party representative. So every apartment building has a party representative.
This is from the CCP. This is the Chinese Communist Party. What people don't understand is of the 1.4 billion people, only 90 million are members, official members of the Chinese Communist Party. So you're saying one party member per building, or a couple in the village, you've got these commissars, correct?
That's correct, yes. And so they will basically, in these times essentially get put in charge of the building. They're kind of in charge of the building. They're kind of like the den mother, for lack of a better term, if you will, during normal times. During these times, they're basically going around making sure that people are staying in their houses, things like that. So even at the low levels, everybody kind of has their marching orders from the party. And then on the techno side, I think what a lot of people need to understand is that the surveillance state that they have in China is truly just mind-boggling. I've been seeing reports that basically now, for instance, WeChat, which is a very popular messaging app there, or the telephone company will actually send you lists of where you have traveled within in the last month or two, so that if you, for instance, go to work, you can show your boss, this is where I was. I have to be quarantined, or I don't have to be quarantined. Or if somebody says you need to be quarantined, you can actually pull out this list. And so they're sending you these types of notifications about this, and they have video surveillance, which is actually doing thermal imagings of like bus areas and airports and things like that. Everybody, like if you go into buildings or whatever, everybody has their temperature recorded and things like that. So it's really this mix of techno surveillance and party surveillance.
这个疫情接下来会往什么情况下发展？中国政府会采取什么样的措施？这个问题是所有人都在猜，所有人都关心的问题。文贵，我在这儿我以我个人的情报和战友们的联系，和我对共产党的了解，我仅凭郭文贵个人之见，并愿承担责任的说说我的想法。昨天我给一个某国他的大领导，我们一直保持联系。他给我发信息，他说我刚刚听了简报，说中国共产党决定还要让很多人返回城市去工作，工厂开工，酒店开业。他们给我汇报的情况，他说我想给你核实一下，给我发了几个简单的数字。我给他的回复是的，基本上你们的情报是准确的。他说他们要开什么会，3月份什么共产党的会，他现在还要开什么会？这个会真的那么重要吗？我说是的。他说那你觉得接下来会发展到什么情况？会有什么样的坏处？会有什么样的事情发生？我给他回复，我说他们决定3月的第一个星期继续要开共产党的那个王八蛋的政治两会，完全虚假的所谓人民代表和政协代表根本不存在的。但是为了记住我这话，为了党内的政治斗争和现在共产党统治中国人民，或者你们叫管理中国人民的权利的延续的合法性，他们是一定要开的。他说那你确定他们是让人返城吗？我说是的。返城的代价是什么？我给他回复，他们返城的代价就是要在中国酒店开业，部分服务设施餐厅开业，有些交通要打开，有些火车飞机要专用专飞给他们用，但是随之而来的服务都会有，接着会导致下来大面积的传染大面积的传染就会传染到中国，再次的爆发，爆发完以后会传到全世界我这个我发到我们群里有，但是你们没有看到后来给我回话过了一段时间他给我回复说 Miles 你的这个给我们的消息，他跟我们判断是一样的。他说那将是一个对中国人民是个灾难，但是对待灭掉共产党是一个完美的风暴我当时我给他发了个信息，我说我特别不爱听你这个话，我说你这话太像中国共产党了，他的完美的风暴灭共了你觉得挺好了，我说我们中国得死多少人？但是我发英文的时候呢，我给他写的是 I don't like the styles这是 the too many people to die for me is no good I don't like the style。 我给他发这个，结果他回复说你这个回复很好， 他说是很痛苦，是很不好，死很多人。他说但是这就是中国人要付出的代价。